Do we think we have most everybody in and ready to go?
We do. We are almost live, but not quite.
Okay.
It takes a second. Okay. It is geared up.
All right. Very cool. Well, we'll go ahead and call this Central Pines Regional Council Executive Committee meeting to order Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. Reminder that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed. So everybody does need to identify themselves by name as they are speaking. And with a roll call vote, we do need a name and a community with the vote when a roll call vote is asked for. And Ms. Beth Seidel will conduct that roll call. And in fact, let's go ahead and get a roll call right now to start off the meeting, see if we've got a quorum.
All right. Aberdeen. Anger.
Chevelle Harmon, Town of Anger, here.
Apex.
Brett Gann, Apex here.
Harborough.
Randy Kevin O'Donnell, Harborough, here.
Chatham County.
Amanda Robertson, Chatham County, here.
City of Durham. Durham County. Holly Springs. Johnston County. Lee County.
Lee County, Kirk Smith, present.
Moore County. Orange County.
Gene Hamilton, Orange County, present.
Pittsburgh. Sanford. Selma.
Byron McAllister, Town of Selma, present.
Wake County.
Evans, Wake County, present.
All right, we have quorum. You're muted, Chair.
Let's try that again. That'll bring us into getting to know CPRC, something Chairman Gant wisely started us on so that we understand what CPRC is and what it used to be, particularly as Triangle J Council of Governments. So in May 1982, that was the year I was born, the Triangle J Council of Governments produced a watershed management guide. The guide was developed because the falls of the Neuse and B. Everett Jordan reservoirs promise to be valuable regional resources that may help satisfy long-term water needs of the rapidly growing Research Triangle area and non-point source water pollution, especially from urban and suburban areas, could seriously limit the usefulness of the reservoirs for water supply and recreation unless local communities commit to further methods of watershed protection. As a result, the Triangle J Council of Governments outlined a framework on which local governments can develop watershed protection plans and policies in May of 1982. So a long history of incredibly important environmental work and particularly infrastructure work throughout our region. Review of the agenda. We've got the agenda in front of you. I do believe, from my understanding, there's a change requested by staff.
Yes, sir. Excuse me. Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. We would ask that item 6E, Budget Amendment 3, Resolution 2025-1104, which was a budget amendment for the Triangle West TPO, be removed. And the reason for that, their executive director asked for the amendment to be removed because it had not been considered by the Triangle West Policy Board, which is a requirement before it comes before you.
Okay, well, we will take it off and hopefully get it squared away properly at a future date. So with that amendment to the agenda, do we have any concerns about the agenda with that amendment? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and approve that agenda. And that'll bring us into the recognition of outgoing executive committee members. So the terms of several Central Pines Regional Council Board members who also serve on the executive committee end at the beginning of December. As a result, the executive committee meeting in this November 19th, 2025 will be these board members' final meeting. Following tonight's meeting, the following members of the executive committee will complete their service on the board of delegates. So Delegate Wilma Laney of Aberdeen, Delegate and former Chair Brett Gant of Apex, Delegate Randy Haven O'Donnell of Carborough, Delegate Pamela Baldwin of Pittsboro, Delegate Mark Anthony Middleton, City of Durham, and alternate delegate Deidreana Freeman, City of Durham, and alternate delegate Timothy Frost of Holly Springs. So on behalf of Central Pines, we do want to express our appreciation to these board members for their service to the community and to Central Pines. Their service will be officially recognized during the December 4th, 2025 end of the year board celebration at Central Pines. I do encourage everybody to attend that celebration so that we can send everybody off properly. And then if there's any members present that are rolling off that would like to say anything, please, by all means, after you.
Yeah, I'll say something. It's been beyond a pleasure and an honor to serve not only on the executive board but to be one of the delegates to CPRC. I believe in regionalism and have always been involved with regionalism as long as I've been in North Carolina. And all I can say is I may be rolling off, but I'm not going away. So I'm here and my sleeves are always rolled up and ready to help CPRC in any way possible. And thank you. Thank you all.
Very cool. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Seeing no others, I guess we'll roll right along into the business item of the personnel policy update. Lee, Jenny, you want to take that away?
Sure, Mr. Chair. And first of all, we really appreciate your time and effort on Saturdays. So we've purposefully made this a pretty short agenda. A couple things that we have to get through tonight. But again, thank you so much for your time on Saturday. So every year, Central Pines leadership comes together to review our personnel policy to make sure that there aren't any gaps or items that need to be addressed. And so we do have some updates that we present to you this evening for your consideration. You should have a copy of the marked up version of the personnel policy that was part of your packet. We'll do a brief high level overview to just familiarize yourself with the major components of what's changing. So if we can advance to the next slide. And we'll go through this basically in the sections of the personnel policy to make it a little bit easier. And many of these are just cleanups of language and things that our attorney, and I do want to say our attorney has fully reviewed and actually made some of these changes on our behalf. So again, it's been fully vetted for your consideration. There's a new welcome preface and from the executive director just to welcome people to the organization in the introduction, which I really appreciated. One of our new employees that's working on HR with Jenny suggested that, and I thought it was a terrific idea. So we appreciated that. Then if you skip on to Article V, or 5, conditions of employment, we added some language around the Federal Hatch Act to political activity, just because we do have federal funds and interact with federal government quite a bit. Our attorney provided that language to us. We added an additional employee to the immediate family employment prohibition. It was just the executive director, the CFO, and board members. We added the deputy executive director to that provision. Article 6, which is employee benefits. These are probably the major changes that will impact, I think, positively our employees. One maybe you would view not as a positive thing, but I think because of our new health insurance overall, it's a positive thing. We now have, you may remember, we've gone to the InChip health insurance program, which is a pool of local governments in North Carolina. It is actually a self-insurance type pool. And so we really want to make sure that all of our employees that we pay for, all employees get health insurance as a benefit, are in that pool so that we're contributing money into the pool and beginning to build funds for the future and to keep health insurance premiums stable. When we used to be with the league, we would allow an employee, if they had health insurance through a partner or through a spouse, that they could go to that and we would give them a reimbursement. We're proposing to do away with that reimbursement as of July 1st to make sure that all employees are participating in the pool. Anybody that's participating in now, it will not impact them until the new budget year and our new open enrollment. We also are making sure that our educational assistance has a tie to budget availability. We don't want to promise somebody that we may be able to pay for their tuition and then not have the money to do it. So we want to make sure we have budget available. Next slide. A few of the other major changes are under our holidays and leaves of absence. We're clarifying that our short-term disability is an employee paid benefit now. So we made those changes. We made an adjustment to FMLA. We actually crossed over the 50 employee threshold where FMLA is now required. And when we did that, we kept some language in there that employees had to use their leave while they were on FMLA. And we have made a recommendation that we change that language, that an employee can now choose, if they're on FMLA, to either use their leave or go on unpaid FMLA. That provides the employee more choice in how they use their leave and whether they preserve it or whether they use it. Probably the biggest item, and something I'm really happy and that we're able to do, we are recommending that we offer paid maternity leave. That is something that we have had a gap in benefits for quite some time. And thanks to the executive team, we have figured out how to pay for it and how to manage it in a way that is, I'm very pleased. So it would be a 12-week or 450-hour employer paid maternity leave. Could be done consecutively or intermittently. A few caveats to that: an employee would have to be with the organization for 1 year, which lines up with FMLA to be eligible for maternity leave. And then they would need to stay, when they return to work, they would stay for at least 6 months in order to fully qualify for it, which is common across many of our local governments. The other thing, we started to provide volunteer leave a year or two ago, and through some recent employees that left, we realized we had a gap there that we needed to make sure that employees didn't request volunteer leave as just a way to take off during their 2-week notice. And so we put a caveat that if you have some volunteer leave that's already been approved, we can allow that, but you can't ask for volunteer leave after you're already submitted your resignation. All right, next page. There was some cleaning up of our unsatisfactory job performance and misconduct. This came mostly from the attorney. Some of the provisions as we've added some additional development tools like performance improvement plans and things of that nature. we didn't do the best job connecting that to the personnel policy. So really trying to clean all of that up so there's clarity about exactly how somebody would progress through a disciplinary process for performance issues, and a few cleanup language items around misconduct. Just taking a one item out and a few clarifying comments around that. And then other than that, there's some formatting and changes. And again, this was all reviewed by the attorney. Jenny, did I leave anything out? Anything you want to add?
No, I think that covers it, but happy to answer any questions.
Yeah. So again, this is something we do every year. Most of it is just sort of cleaning up language, making sure things are compliant. The major benefit change, the major change to the policy is the addition of maternity leave. So with that, be happy to answer any questions. Mr. Chair, Jenny, or myself are here for whatever you may have. Thank you.
All right. Any questions from the board? I know we all read every single word of this. All right, hearing none, I guess that'll take us into our next item to look at. We've got the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Interim Report, and I think, Lindsay, you're taking that away?
Yes, I am.
Very-
You can hear me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, making sure my microphone's working. Yeah, good evening. For those who don't know me, I'm Lindsay Whitson. I'm the Community and Economic Development Director here. And I too have a pretty short presentation tonight. So every year we are required to bring our SEDS annual report to our governing board to review and approve. And so this year it's actually pretty short for various reasons. But for those who don't know, I'll get into that in a little bit. But for those who don't know, our comprehensive economic development strategy is a document that's updated every 5 years. It's a regional, it's a regional blueprint for economic development, and it's done in partnership with EDA, so Economic Development Administration. And as a result of creating and maintaining this document, it allows us to receive funds from Economic Development Administration to support our region around community and economic development and build capacity and things like that. So there's three main objectives of the SEDS. It's build regional capacity, guide economic prosperity and resilience, and encourage regional collaboration through partnerships and investments. And so as a result, it can, the document, like most planning documents, it helps us increase our competitiveness for grant applications. It can reduce duplication among our region, help align partnerships, and also allow us to leverage resources. And so the reason that it's pretty short, our report this year, is we typically, and when I say year, we're talking about the federal year. So excuse me, October 1, 2024 to September 30th, 2025 is what we're reporting on in this case. And we actually were without an agreement with EDA from January 1, 2025 this year till early September this year. It was held up at the federal level, waiting for signature from the new U.S. Commerce Secretary. And so, again, we just don't have a ton to report. But I still did use the opportunity to create a document that shows EDA how many of our current programs that aren't EDA funded that we leverage to build capacity in our region for community and economic development purposes. So that is really how I utilize this space with our document this year. I didn't want to submit anything that like a blank document. I also aligned them with EDA's 5 priority investment areas, which are manufacturing, innovation and entrepreneurship, workforce development, critical infrastructure, and I'm drawing a blank on the 5th one. I will probably remember it right after this call. But so I used it to an opportunity, like I said, to really amplify how we leverage so many of our different programs at CPRC to support our economic development dollars and help make them go further. So Really so I guess under our consent agenda, I would just ask that the board supports the resolution so that I can submit the report to EDA. And I can take any questions.
All right, very cool. Board, do we have any questions on that? Going once, going twice, hearing none. I guess we will go ahead and take a look at our consent agenda. So do we have any objections to placing that economic development strategy interim report on the consent agenda? All right, good deal. So with that on our consent agenda, we do have draft minutes from September 24, 2025, that personnel policy update, the 2025 Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy interim report, and budget amendment 2. Of course, budget amendment 3 we have taken off of the consent agenda. With that, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Randy
Second.
Haven O'Donnell, Harborough.
Second, Susan Evans, White County.
All right, and then Ms. Seidel, if we could get a roll call vote.
Alrighty. Aberdeen. Anger.
Chevelle Harmon, Town of Anger, yes.
Apex.
Brett Gant, Apex, yes.
Carborough.
Randy Haven O'Donnell, Carborough, yes.
Chatham County.
Amanda Robertson, Chatham County, yes.
City of Durham. Durham County. Holly Springs. Johnston County. Lee County.
Lee County, Kirk Smith, aye.
Moore County. Orange County.
Gene Hamilton, Orange County, yes.
Pittsburgh. Sanford. Selma.
Byron McAllister, Town of Selma, yes.
And Wake County.
Susan Evans, White County, yes.
All right.
Cool.
They're
That's
approved.
got a consent agenda, and that brings us down to around the region. So I've got an interesting prompt for you today. We had a town hall kind of open forum, I think a couple of weeks ago, and we started putting up our Christmas decorations in the town of Selma about a few days before, and everybody was shocked. So out of curiosity, in your municipalities, when do you start putting up Christmas decorations?
Ours started going up this week.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I believe ours are going to go up after Thanksgiving.
The county don't do any.
There you go.
Well, I know for a fact in Lee County, I missed the Broadway's workshop. They were going to have a Saturday. And yeah, they're already up. And Sanford was putting them up last week as well.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. We got a lot of interesting feedback, but we figured we'd get it up for the shopping season. So there we go. Very cool. Very cool. Well, do we have anything else as far as Christmas decorations for around the region? All right. Chair's report. I did go back and get some information related to I guess the tug of war that is happening with the children's hospital conversation between the House and the Senate. I did actually get our lobbyists for the town of Selma to kind of put together a one-pager for information related to that to kind of explain the differences between the House and the Senate. Is that something that everybody would like kind of disseminated to our community so that we can look over it and get an idea of what the central issues are? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll get that into CPRC staff hands, and then staff, if you don't mind getting that out to our board and our board of delegates, I'd very much appreciate it so that our communities could have a better understanding of quite frankly, what the hangup is related to the budget considerations.
Sure, happy to.
Okay, very cool. And then I guess that brings us to our executive director's report, Lee.
All right. So again, thank you all for a great session on Saturday. We got a lot done and a lot of really good information. We actually had our senior leadership team meeting Monday and went through quite a bit of the information with them and began thinking about tweaks and how to move on to the next steps. And so we're already putting it to use and beginning to think about goal development and changes based on your feedback. So thank you again for some really good work in a short amount of time. The other thing I wanted to do is, and thank you to Beth, the QR codes up there. We'd love to see you on December 4th for our year-end celebration. So again, a reminder of what that is. It's not a formal board meeting, but we will be honoring our board members and alternates that are rolling off the Central Pines board that we know about. We will also be honoring, honoring our staff members who have achieved length of service, whether that's 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And we will also be doing our Golden Pine Cone Awards. And I think we've got some good nominations. I think it's really important that we recognize the outstanding work that's going on in our communities and people that are doing really good work for the public's interest. And so we'll be unveiling those awards. And a little bit of an added bonus this year, our year-end awards actually coincide with a meeting of the North Carolina Council of Governments Association. And so all the regional council directors will be at Central Pines that day for a meeting. And hopefully they'll be staying for the event. And then the forum member, who's one elected official from each council of government, they will be coming in that day for a meeting on Friday, the next day, but we always have a dinner. And so the year-end celebration is going to be their forum meeting. And so there'll be elected officials from across the state in attendance as well. And so we really hope you'll be there. Starts at 5 o'clock, if I'm correct, informal networking and just fellowship from 5 to 6. And then the program will start at 6 o'clock. And I don't think it'll take a long time to get through the program. And then folks can stick around however long they want. So hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving next week. Thank you for the service that you all give to your communities. And also want to, I know Mr. Gant and Ms. O'Donnell are on the calls. Thank you for your service to your communities and service to Central Pines. We appreciate it very much. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Lee, thank you very much. And I want to echo those sentiments first. Mr. Gant, Ms. Haven O'Donnell, I have learned a lot from both of you in a very short period of time that has, quite frankly, changed the way I think about government and some of the things that we do in government. So I very much appreciate it. And I look forward to crossing paths with you in the future as you move on to other endeavors. The retreat on Saturday, staff, a absolutely fantastic job making that a fairly painless event, quite frankly, and very efficient event. So it was very, very impressive work. I brought our alternate delegate, Councilwoman Amy West Whitley, and she came away just super shocked at how efficient and how smooth that process was. So thank you so very much. And of course, I encourage everyone to come to the year-end celebration, December 4th. Great chance or fellowship, meet some of the folks from around the region and beyond, and to again say goodbye to all these wonderful folks that will be rolling off who have done amazing work for our communities for a significant period of time. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
1 second, Byron. Can I
Oh, yeah.
ask if it's okay if we bring our alternates to that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that was explicitly asked.
Yeah, we can bring everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I have had a question about whether newly electeds are invited, and we certainly, I mean, we're not going to say no to anybody, right? But the purpose of the year end is to honor the individuals that are leaving the board.
I got you.
And then but anybody that's a sort of current elected official is certainly welcome. We focus on our newly elected officials at Regional Day in February. And the reason, we have a large group of individuals, and we just don't want any awkward moments that if somebody who's leaving and then somebody who maybe won. And so that's sort of how we parse the year and go from current year to next year. But we welcome everybody, but just a little advice and guidance.
Well, even with that, even if there's maybe a staff member or so they would like to introduce.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
For sure. Just let us know numbers just so that we don't run out of food. So
Absolutely.
we have to go order Papa John's or something. So yeah.
Very cool. Great question, Ms. Harmon. Thank you very much. Do we have anything else before we get a motion to adjourn? Everybody good?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, there it is.
Second.
Got a second. All right. I think we're good to go. Everybody have a wonderful evening. That 32 minutes was rough. I apologize, but we'll see better next time. Okay.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.